Welcome back, everyone. It's day 2 of Finance Magnets London Summit. I'm joined today by Andreas Roussos, who is partner at Point 9 regtech. Andreas, welcome. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us. I know you have a very busy schedule.
Thank you for the opportunity. My pleasure.
I know. You are attending today the show. What's your impressions of the event so far?
It's been a little bit slow today, to be honest, but it's very, very good. I mean, we haven't had the opportunity in the last few years because of COVID to catch up. I've seen people that I haven't seen for a few years, so it's been really, really good, and it's refreshing, and hoping that we will have more events going forward, right?
Yeah, it's
physical ones.
It's been way too long with COVID and everything else that we've all been apart and just working remotely, so definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, you work with people, right? Exactly. People buy from people, people interact with people, so nothing can substitute the physical engagement. See people, have a drink with them, talk business, come back, and then close the actual business. So doing things online has been a little bit problematic, I would say, especially in the B2B sector, right?
And with respect to the regtech space, it seems to me at least this year, there has been an increase in regulatory fines and warnings specifically for lapses in trade reporting, which is, I think, a very important issue. What do you see most common since you are in the space? Is it brokers and companies proactively engaging with regtech companies to basically make sure that they are in compliance with all the trade reporting standards that they need to be? Or is it after the fact, after they receive a warning or, unfortunately maybe a fine, that they come to you and other companies for solutions?
You are very, very correct. There have been fines from FCA, Consop in Italy, the German and the Luxembourgish regulator threw quite some significant fines out there. What we're seeing in the market, there's the clients that they want to be compliant in everything. So they will run a proper request for proposal, see and try to get the best of breed of service providers. And then we have the clients that is just a tick the box exercise. They'll go to just hire anybody. They don't really pay that much attention. And then you have the in-between. Now, the vast majority of the inquiries we get now are from clients that they have a solution, either internal or through a vendor, and they recognize the problem themselves. And a few of them are getting warning letters from the regulators. And then you get the odd one, like we haven't reported for, maybe it's our own fault or they are vendors for 6 months, a year, and there are mistakes and we want to fix it. Because EMIR was introduced in 2014, is changing in a year and a half from now, and it was voted through the European Parliament a couple of months ago. So now what we see is that everybody comes, right, and is looking for a proper solution. And I can tell you there is tier 1 banks that we've spoken a year ago. Now everybody's coming back and saying, you know what, we're running out of time, we need to solve it. And when EMIR Refit will be introduced, everybody will have 6 months to implement, make any bug corrections, and then there will be no more time. And we don't know if the regulators will be forgiving, right? And we're going from a regime that has now 103 fields to double that, using of XML to submit and receive back. Everything you report needs to be reconciled. If you outsource your reporting to anybody, you still need to exhibit to the regulator that you have full control and full oversight, which basically means you either need to have internally or externally the same knowledge, the same expertise. So it's becoming very, very onerous. And it's a busy time, to be honest with you, and it's the new way going forward. When it comes to MiFIR is all about transparency in the marketplace. So when you have firms under or over reporting, then the transparency goes away, right? And especially FCA has been very, very vocal about it, and they have handed out quite a few fines. Right, because, I mean, why would you have a regime about transparency and then let's say 10% of the trades of a broker or an asset manager or a big bank are not reported. I mean, it beats the whole purpose, right?
And with respect to the EMIR refit, like you mentioned, the one that's going into effect essentially in a year and a half, how specifically can Point 9 help customers who, again, need to prepare for this, need to make sure that they are on the same page with everything that needs to get done, and specifically with this new reporting standard?
Essentially, EMIR refit is a new regulation. So we've seen a rewrite of the derivatives reporting regulation in America, UK, EU, Australia, Japan, Singapore. So basically the regulators didn't say it's a badly written regulation and we failed, so they call it a rewrite.
Okay.
Now, what it means for the market participants, double the fields.
Double the fees?
The fields.
Oh.
So basically the data fields,
Sure.
doubling. 70% of those fields that you report and your counterparty reports, you need to reconcile and match. Otherwise, as long as there is an exception, you need to discuss with your counterparty and come to terms, right?
Sure.
So, as we speak right now, 40% of the transactions submitted do not pair. EMIR is all about counterparty risk. Nobody wants another layman,
Really?
right? So, if two companies trade, they both report, but there is no unique identifier, how do the regulators know counterparty risk?
Right.
Exactly. 4 out of 10 valuations are never updated. Counterparty risk, collateral versus valuation. Now, all these now need not only to be reported, but to be updated and validated every single day. So it becomes extremely bad. The usage of XML, it sounds easy, but it's not. So basically, you need to submit in an XML format, and you will receive from the trade repositories the acknowledgements, the reports in XML. Point 9, we only work in XML for the last 6 years. Reconciliation is included in our services.
Okay.
The clients double the fields that they need to report. We do the data analysis for them, right? And we do the mappings because unlike our competition, we offer a full outsourced solution. Essentially, we take the pain away. Think of us as a painkiller if you like, right? So it's 18 months. The extra fields that everybody needs to report, actually, a lot of them are not included in their databases they have now.
Okay.
So
they don't even have the data to begin with. They need to start collecting it. Right?
exactly, and there will be a 6-month period that you'll need to report to the new standards under ESMA. Under FCA, it will come 3 months later, and the fields are not exactly the same. So if you're a broker and you have an FCA and a SISEC license, you essentially need 2 reporting hubs for a period of 9 months overall, right? And that's going to be going forward. Now, we take that away. Right? We have a complete service. We will analyze their data. We'll generate the report. We have a validations engine with more than 5,000 validations, and not just what the regulation stipulates. Right?
So you go above and beyond.
Exactly. And our clients have full oversight as mandated by EMIR refit to what we do and how we do it. And should the regulator or their internal audit raise a question, we're going to be there and answer it for them.
Great. I know this is a topic that's been being widely discussed right now. Unfortunately, the collapse of FTX. It looks like the industry, the crypto industry, and some regulators. I'm not going to say all regulators, but some regulators are right now in sort of damage control mode to try to prevent further delusion or the delusion of trust that's happened, really. I mean, and credibility in the crypto space. What do you think can be done about this and the situation that the crypto industry finds itself in?
I think they need to regulate crypto. It's the only way going forward. Some people like it, some people embrace it, some people do not accept it. It is there, and it will be there in the long run. And now it reminds me of, it's like a Wild West story, right? Now, FTX, you cannot be a market operator, you cannot be a counterparty, you cannot be an issuer all at the same time. If you're a regulated entity, you cannot do all this. There's going to be Chinese walls. And, they have to, right? So basically, let's say crypto will be a commodity. Not, yes.
Hopefully.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is let's make it a commodity.
Okay.
Let's license all these guys, right? Let's supervise them like we do with the rest. Now, there's always going to be fraud.
Yes.
But now the problem is not an outlier. It seems that who can assure us we don't have another 10 FTXs out there? Now, if they were regulated, probably there's going to be another issue and another issue. But odds are the majority of the market will be just fine.
Yes.
And I don't know what damage control can be done now, apart from saying, I mean, the big regulators, ESMA, FCA, CFTC, to come out and say, yes, we will not just give a license like they do in Cyprus, but basically regulate them as in the financial industry. And that's the only way for me, to be honest.
Like the other players in the financial industry who have been in it for hundreds of years. The banks, the brokers, the other exchanges, and things like that, yeah.
It's the only way.
Yep. So another thing about Point 9, this year you guys partnered with Kaizen and FIS. How could these collaborations sort of strengthen your product? And what do they mean about your company's expansion?
Well, we believe in, I'm a true believer of being part of a wider ecosystem that adds value to the clients. Kaizen is one of the best, if not the best, company in providing accuracy testing for trade reporting. Okay. FIS is a Fortune 240 company, the biggest technology vendor in the capital markets. They have a 90% market share in cleared derivatives. We also have another partnership with Alpha FMC, which is the biggest consultant in the asset management space. So part of solving the problem in regulation is reporting, obviously, but then you need an independent accuracy test, which is Kaizen. Data. FIS piping, 90% of the cleared derivatives. They also have securities finance and securities, plain securities trading, OTC as well. Sure. So FIS gives us foothold in everywhere. They're a global operation, right? And we talk to their clients, promoting and selling our services. Kaizen can provide the accuracy testing. Clients that they don't really know their data that well, and they need soldiers on the ground. If they need internal processes, then Alpha FMC will do that in the asset management space. And then there's First Derivative, who's another big consultant, more on the sell side, right? And they have a specialty trade and transaction reporting practice in there as well. So when we go to a client, we go together and say, this is the whole ecosystem, this is all you need, right? And we can provide you all that. So we're extremely happy, to be engaged with these big firms and be able to talk to clients in the States, in Singapore, from tier 1 institutions all the way to small corporates and anything in between. And that's part of our expansion.
That sounds very great. It sounds very exciting. Outside of sort of some of the themes in regtech that we've just discussed, what do you think we need to look forward to as the key themes in 2023 and beyond?
Regarding technology, regulation.
Can you expand a little bit on that?
Well, I mean, regulation is here to stay. It's gonna get tougher and tougher. There's a lot of legacy systems in the financial services and capital markets. There's software that has been out there for 20, 30 years. Doesn't have all the necessary data. There are in-house reporting solutions that they were developed 10 years ago, and the people who developed it do not work there anymore. Now, the regulators, they are all getting, let's say, more technology savvy. So they're bringing data scientists in. So they are analyzing the data. It's not a perfect world.
Sure.
But essentially what the regulators have been saying the last years is that, yes, you've reported, yes, we're seeing the data, it's not good enough, right? So you need to try harder, and we're going to make it more difficult for you. And then you have AML 5, which is huge for the European Union. And then on top of everything, 10% annual inflation everywhere.
Yes.
Right. So actually, you need more resources to be compliant.
It costs more.
Yes, and
More labor intensive.
exactly. And then, so the solution to that is use more technology. It's not as expensive as labor, and use external expertise to cope up, because it's not going to go anywhere. FTX, right? So you have all these providers now. I'm sure that some of them are fully compliant. There's going to be maybe a few more bad apples like FTX. But eventually, now what they need to do is tend to regulation, tend to technology, and up their game. And maybe this is what will be the theme for the next couple of years. That's where I think we will see the big shift. So more technology, more regulation.
Andreas, thank you for these valuable insights. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Good luck the rest of the way at the show and towards the end of the year and next year. We hope to see you soon, maybe in Dubai or at another conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you.